Picture this: a black and gold Pontiac Trans Am screaming across the highways of the American South, tires smoking, and an engine roar that defined a generation. That was Smokey and the Bandit 1977. Most people will tell you the movie belongs to Burt Reynolds and his charming, smirk-filled portrayal of the Bandit. But let's be honest, every time the screen cuts to that red-faced man behind the wheel of a disintegrating police cruiser, the movie is hijacked. That man is Sheriff Buford T. Justice. When you see him screaming, slamming the steering wheel, and chasing the bandit with a religious fervor, you might think, yo, the screenwriters really did their homework. But here is the reality. Much of what you see on screen was never written down. It wasn't planned in a production office. It was born in the chaos of the moment, right when the cameras were rolling. Today, we're breaking down 10 fascinating facts about the man who stole the show and became one of the greatest accidental icons in cinema history. Fact number 1. The man who broke the script. Sheriff Justice was a standard, serious lawman, a functional obstacle for the bandit to overcome. But then, Jackie Gleason entered the picture. Gleason wasn't just an actor. He was a comedic force of nature. From day one on set, he didn't just read the script. He dismantled it. He turned Justice into a walking, shouting thunderstorm. Every squint, every huff of exhaustion, and that thick southern drawl was Gleason's creation. Fact number 2, written in chaos. Many of Justice's most iconic scenes were essentially empty on paper. The script would often simply say, Justice is angry and continues the pursuit. No detailed dialogue, no emotional cues. Director Hal Needham handed Gleason a blank check for his performance. This meant that every time the director shouted action, the rest of the cast and crew had no idea what was about to come out of Justice's mouth. Fact number 3, let the camera roll. Most directors are control freaks, but Hal Needham was smart. He realized he was witnessing lightning in a bottle. Instead of trying to reel Gleason in, Needham stepped back. He told the camera operators to keep rolling, long after the scripted scene had ended. He embraced the chaos, knowing that Gleason's best work happened when the script stopped. Fact number 4, one-take madness. Doing dozens of takes is the norm. But with Justice, many scenes were captured in just one take. Why? Because Gleason's improvisation was impossible to replicate. If you asked him to do it again, he'd give you an entirely different version. The rhythm, the specific level of madness, and the sheer spontaneity of that first take were priceless. Fact number 5, the real reactions. We have to talk about Mike Henry, the actor who played Junior, Justice's dim-witted son. In almost every scene, Mike had zero idea what his father was going to scream at him next. When you see Junior looking startled or genuinely terrified, that's not acting. That is the natural reflex of a man being verbally ambushed by a comedic genius. Fact number 6, new tricks, just mayhem. And the sense of rattling, dusty mayhem inside Justice's car. That wasn't special effects. Every bump, every time the roof flew off or the door fell away, it actually happened on the road. Gleason was sitting in a vehicle that was literally falling apart in the Georgia heat. His physical discomfort was authentic, and he channeled all of it into the character. Fact number 7, too wild for the screen. Jackie Gleason had a colorful vocabulary. Some of his rants were way too crude for a 1970s family movie. The editing team had to work overtime to filter his outbursts, keeping only the sharpest bits that could pass the censors. Fact number 8, when the crew lost it. There were days when the production simply had to stop because the crew was laughing too hard. Cameramen would start shaking, and takes were scrapped because someone's ladder was picked up by the mix. Fact number 9, The scene stealer. While the movie was built for the bandit, the energy clearly belonged to Justice. Every time he appeared, the movie's pace accelerated. He became the engine that drove the comedy forward. Final fact: the accidental legend. Justice was not just a character, he was the soul of the film. In the end, no one sat down and said, "Let's create a legendary icon." It happened naturally, through freedom, trust, and a lot of loud shouting. 50 years later, we still watch Buford T. Justice, because every time he appears, it feels like we're seeing something happen for the very first time. Not because we haven't seen it before, but because that specific moment can never be repeated.